Hey, Mike Callahan here. Got an idea for you. Organic content you should be posting on social media several times a week and repurposing them on different social media outlets as well as your website. So question was asked, Mike, how do you come up with the content that you post on a regular basis? So I'm going to suggest a brainstorming activity. And this activity is going to include several elements. The top 5 elements that we use on a daily basis. First of all, we want to go out and list all the questions that we hear on a daily basis. So as contractors, we get asked hundreds of questions every month, but we take it for granted because we live and die in lawn care or home cleaning, whatever that is. So don't take it for granted. Take some time, sit away from the daily grind of your business with your team and literally just have a brain dump or brainstorming activity. Put them up on a huge Post-it note or put them in a Google Doc and share it so you have somewhere to refer to. But we want to list all the questions that consumers ask us day for day that we take for granted. Because, for instance, my hot water heater just broke today. I went online and asked some really common asked questions. I'm assuming that the heating and cooling company get asked every day and they just take it for granted. But I didn't know what would cause a pilot light not to stay lit. Well, there's several common things, but it seemed to be pretty easy and straightforward once I read that content. And it was interesting. They had videos, text, and different social media links as well. So I found that really helpful in that process. So we want to make a list of all the questions we hear each and every day from our consumer or potential consumer. We want to make videos and articles that answer these questions, upload them to YouTube, Facebook, any private groups, and then we want to take them with a transcript and put them on our website to gain that SEO and when we're searching. So as I went out for that new water heater this morning, it was really interesting. 1 or 2 people in the whole entire city that we live in had content that was focused around the issues I was having and I needed answers for. We want to have in-depth answers with in-depth explanations without any sales content. There was one contractor that did an amazing job. There was no sales pitch to it. It was literally like, hey, if you want to go out and change the heat condenser, I believe it was, with the pilot light, this is how you do it. This is what you should be looking for. These are the things you should be concerned about. Or if you want to hire a professional, this is what they should do. So if there was no sales pitch to it, it was purely a content give. I felt very comfortable with this contractor at that point and hired them to come make the adjustment. And basically you want to make sure not only on social media and YouTube these are answered, but we want to make sure they're answered on your website. So just like I was going to that heating and cooling contractor for that water tank, they answered my questions offline away from their website, but eventually that drove me to the website and there was additional questions around that topic that I needed to have answered before I made that phone call. And if you saw my post last week, 70% of all buying decisions are made before the consumer actually even interacts with your company. I had pretty much didn't really care what it cost at this point. I needed hot water, but I felt comfortable with this company or brand because they had given me honest information, how to fix it myself, and what to look for if I was going out to get a couple quotes. So the last thing here is we really want to emphasize on what prospects and customers want to know. There's hundreds of buyer-based questions or concerns. Are you focusing on the prospect and the customer's concerns in every service you offer? So it's not just some of the core service offerings. We want to make this content and questions around all of your service offerings. We want to state the concerns and how the client searches for them. So mine was in the water cool heater was what happens if the pilot light doesn't stay on, or what would be a cause or effect? What's broken if that pilot light doesn't stay lit? So that's how I searched for it. But this gentleman's content was great because he focused his answer and the headline of his article using the search terms that a normal person would put into a directory like Google or Facebook. So we want to make sure we state those concerns and how, and in the words, the way the client or potential client is searching for them. And then we want to address these terms on your website and Facebook. So hopefully this is helpful, how to use organic contract and brainstorm the questions you should be answering each and every day in your service business. Well, it's lawn care, home cleaning, or pest control, any other service business. Great example today in my life how this heating and cooling contractor framed all 5 of these steps almost perfectly to close a sale before I even ever talked to them. So any comments, questions, drop them below.